right, Mallory, it's time to round out the week with Helpful Honda Mailbag Friday. Do you have something you want to tell me?
I do. It's very informal.
Please do.
The North Texas Honda dealers want to help you score some great deals on award-winning Hondas. Stop by your Helpful Honda dealer today or visit northtexashondadealers.com to learn more. It's actually ntxhondadealers.com to learn more.
ntxhondadealers.com.
So, yes.
Thank you very
You're
much,
welcome.
North Texas Honda dealers. We love you very much. Buy a Honda.
Yes.
Buy a Honda.
I actually was at 2 dealerships yesterday.
2 Honda dealerships? Yeah.
Yeah, to deliver some magazines. They were all very nice.
Yeah. So
Very
if you go buy a Honda right now, I think they're like those places they'll give you a magazine too. So it's like buy a Honda and get a magazine with it. Like it's pretty good.
With a cool cover wrap.
All right. If you got questions, high school football, college football, recruiting, lifestyle, romance, travel, anything you got in the Helpful Honda Mailbag Friday, let us know in the comments on Facebook. We will get to as many as we can in just a moment. But first, Mallory, I have the inaugural edition of a new segment that I'm debuting here on Texas Football Today called This Week in Bad Takes. That's right.
Ooh.
I've scoured the internet, and I've found 2 of the very, very, very worst takes that I could find.
Okay.
And I want to bring them to you. And I'm not going to do politics. We're not going to deal with that nonsense here.
No.
So save your comments.
Yeah.
It's fine. We're not talking about that. I'm not going to blow up this girl's Twitter because she's got enough grief over this tweet.
Oh, I'm sure. I do.
But there was a tweet back on July 6th, and it comes with a poll. And the poll had 368,000 votes on it. So 368.
Wow.
1,000 votes.
Oh.
So this went a little bit viral. Maybe you've seen it.
Maybe.
Let me read this to you because it's a yes/no question.
Okay.
Had this argument in a group chat, but I want to know the truth. Isn't it very tacky for somebody to eat the free bread as soon as you get it?
Oh. Okay. All right. I think you go first.
97.7% voted no. And they're exactly right.
Yes.
I'm sorry. What do you think that bread is for?
Exactly. And okay, so this has to do with is this fancy restaurants or is this just
I don't
restaurants
care
in general? Okay. Well,
if you get free bread, which is a lot of places,
yes,
right? I want you to think about this, or let me turn this on its head, right? You get free bread, or they bring you chips and salsa.
Right.
Right?
Okay.
Are you saying you're not supposed to dive in immediately?
Right.
What kind of rules are we setting up to live our worst life?
Right. Okay. Well, if I go to if I know I'm going to a fancy restaurant, in the day or something, I'm not going to eat very much because I'm I'm going to pig out on steak and mashed potatoes and bread.
So
you best bet when I get there, I'm starving.
Now You're only 22.
Yes.
And so you are not as accomplished a drinker as I am, okay?
Right.
I'm an exceptionally accomplished drinker.
Yes.
If you ever go to a bar, and especially a nice bar, and I'm a fan of scotch, I have definitely told a couple of bartenders in my life, hey, I want you to keep an eye on my glass, and when the glass gets down to here, I want you to bring another.
Keep it coming.
Okay?
Right.
Keep it coming. I want that all the time with bread and with chips and salsa.
Yes.
Okay? Is it when that bowl gets gets mostly low? Come on. We're gonna need some more.
I had an experience last night with this. So I went to a semi-fancy restaurant. It's called Max Bar and Grill in Arlington. It's pretty good. But we sat there. No hate to our waitress, but we sat there for 20 minutes. No bread. All the other tables had bread. I was hungry. I was ready to dig into this bread. So, of course, when she brought it out, I was like, yeah, give it here. Just scooping it in because I was hungry.
What is the purpose? What is the social value of waiting to eat that bread?
None. It's to be classy or not look
it's to be
tacky.
Not tacky.
Yes,
I would rather be tacky and full.
Yes, there you go. I don't care about being tacky. Who cares?
Let me just issue a hot take.
Okay.
If you're hungry, eat.
Right.
How about that? How about that?
Okay,
so,
but
yes.
is it really a hot take if 97%?
I'm just saying, no. I'm saying this week in bad takes, and that's a bad take.
Oh, okay, bad
Isn't
takes.
it very
Excuse
tacky
me.
to eat for somebody to eat the free bread as soon as you get it?
Okay.
Absolutely not.
Okay.
You're 100% wrong.
I get
Okay,
the idea.
there's that.
This
And by
now.
the way, if you want to call me tacky, that's fine. I've been called a lot worse in the comments on this episode of the show. The second in today's installment of This Week in Bad Takes comes from an article that I believe was released last weekend. Okay? I'm going to read the headline. The headline is, "Admit it, grilling is bad." The
What?
tweet that comes along with it from this heathenist author. "Your grill is filthy, has poor temperature control, and for some idiot reason has the heating element below the food so that fat drips into it and catches fire. There's a better way to cook in your kitchen."
Okay. So.
I'm just going to go out on a limb and tell you no.
No.
Grilling is not bad. Grilling rules.
That is a really bad take.
That's a
I mean,
terrible take.
the last one was like, yeah, pretty bad, but this one is mega bad.
This is offensively bad.
It is. It's offensive.
I'm offended by this take. I'm offended.
Grilling is so
grilling-
much better
grilling-
than cooking on the stove.
Grilling, yes, absolutely. The flavor is better.
Oh yeah.
It's
yeah.
just way better.
Get a little charcoal.
And
on your hot
and
dog.
here's the thing. If you are looking at this and your complaints are your grill is filthy, has poor temperature control, etc., then maybe the problem is you.
Yeah, maybe you're a bad griller.
Maybe you're bad at grilling.
Can you
okay?
be bad at grilling though? Like
I don't know how. But it is it's I don't know. Like that one went a little bit viral, and I think that the whole reason behind the reason he wrote it was to be a contrarian and to be a jerk. But let me tell you, it's a bad take. Grilling's excellent, and if you don't like grilling, I mean, I don't know if we can be friends.
No.
I'm just sorry.
You're a
I have
heathen.
enough friends, all of whom like grilling
Yes.
universally.
That's like also what you do on Sundays too, I feel like.
Yes.
In the summertime, you grill out by the pool and it just tastes that much better.
Hey, but I ain't gonna limit it to the summertime either.
True.
Especially in Texas.
Grilling could be a year-round thing.
Yeah.
So.
Really, the only time you can't grill is like when it's snowing, basically.
Yeah.
And it
And
never
even
snows
then-
here, so there you go.
Even then,
You could still do it.
I might fight through it.
Yeah, you could still do
Anyway,
it.
that's this week's inaugural episode of This Week in Bad Takes.
I think we should definitely incorporate this into.
If you've got bad takes, tweet them to Mallory. What's your Twitter handle?
It's at Mallory Hartley.
At Mallory Hartley. If you
I should
find
change it to
if you see a bad take, let Mallory know, and we will
Yes.
try to spotlight as many as we can on This Week in Bad Takes.
This week.
All right. Do we have any questions from the peeps?
We have many questions
Okay.
from the peeps. I'm trying to decide which one I want to start off with, but we'll keep it simple at first. So we're gonna go with, what is your favorite animal?
My favorite animal?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna let you start. What's your favorite animal?
You know what? Might be kind of cheesy, but it's a dolphin.
The dolphin.
It's a dolphin.
That's
I
a
think.
very
because
I don't want to be I don't want to say something that you're going to consider as offensive, but like I can see you as somebody who likes dolphins.
they're really smart.
That's
though.
yeah. I think that's you think that they're fun, they're cute, they're harmless, largely harmless. You know what I mean? I can see that. I also have an aquatic animal as my favorite, and I've always loved these animals. The penguin rules. The penguin
That's
is
a
excellent.
good one.
The penguin.
That's a good one.
The penguin is excellent.
What's that movie that has all the penguins in
Happy
it?
Feet.
Yeah, that's a good movie.
It's a good movie about dancing penguins.
Has Hank seen it?
No.
Hank's got to see it.
No, he hasn't.
That's a big good one.
Penguins are excellent. When we went to the zoo, we took Hank to the zoo in St. Louis, and they have a penguin house, and we went into it, and he thought that it was just the coolest thing in the world. And you know why? Because penguins rule. Penguins are excellent. Good job, penguins.
Yes.
What's
go
next?
penguins. All right. What is your dream vacation location?
I've mentioned this before, but the place that I've never been that I've always wanted to go is Japan.
Ooh, good one.
I've always wanted to go to Japan. Everything's super old, which makes me like very happy in a deep way. And it's like the history there is remarkable there. It's also just weird enough. Like it's got the right level of weird of like being so different. The food is outstanding. They play baseball over there, and I'm a fan of baseball.
Right.
Yes. Japan has always been my kind of dream trip. One day I'll do it, although I have a kid, so that's not going to happen anytime soon. But yes, Japan has always been at the top of my list. My wife for a long time was big into wanting to go to Russia, kind of for the same reasons of like you go to like Moscow, you go to St. Petersburg. Those are different cities, right? Yeah. You go to those you go to like the big cities, and like the history there is so like everything old in America is like from the 1700s, and everything old in Japan and like maybe in Russia is from like the 900s.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Like that seems super cool to me.
I think it'd be a really cool place to go to.
What about you?
You're
like I would love if you were like, you know where I've always wanted to go?
San Antonio.
South Carolina.
No.
What's the lamest state to really want to visit? Be like, you know where I've always wanted to go? Delaware.
Idaho.
Hey, I've heard Idaho rules. Actually, I've heard
right.
Idaho's pretty cool.
All right.
So
potatoes.
I
think of potatoes.
I would hate on Idaho.
Okay.
You know where I've always wanted to go? Central Kansas.
That's not what I was going to say.
I was going to Topeka.
No.
Okay.
I think mine would be New Zealand.
Yeah.
My uncle.
Go the Kiwis.
Yeah, my uncle is from New Zealand.
Oh, cool.
So lots of Kiwi talk over there. He's a huge rugby guy. So I would I don't know. I always see cute pictures from over there.
Here's a fun Lord
great.
of the Rings, et cetera, et cetera.
Yes.
Did you know? Fun fact. Did you know that their prime minister is, I believe, the first in world history, like head of state or one of very few to give birth while in office? Jacinda Ardern.
No,
I read that. I read that a couple of
Didn't
weeks
know
ago about Jacinda Ardern. That she gave birth while she was in office, and it was like one of the first. She was like one of the first ever heads of state to give birth. And we're not talking like the Queen of England, who's obviously given birth and stuff like that.
Right.
But anyway,
very interesting. You learn something new every day.
I think elected official. I think as far as like elected head of state.
I'll have to call him and tell him that I know more about.
Because they don't elect the queen. Because because they're anti-democratic.
Anyway, what's that? Go on.
Anyways, moving on.
I have some thoughts about the royal family, if you want to get into it, but
another day.
That's another day.
All right, we'll move on.
That's as political as I'm gonna get.
Right. We'll do a little bit of Texas high school football. Other than Aledo or Carthage, what school would you bet your house on to win the title?
Other than Aledo or Carthage, because I do think that Carthage is probably the number one biggest favorite to win a title. Aledo is probably up there as far as safe bets are safe-ish bets are concerned.
Maybe go 6A just because I feel like.
Oh, and I got to go with the 6A team?
Well, I mean, I guess you could do whatever, but maybe that would be more.
I mean, look.
Fun
Austin Westlake starts the year as number 1.
Yeah.
But they have big questions, right? I know they've got Cade Klubnik, they got Jaden Greathouse and stuff, but they do, as much as we have talked about the great tradition of defense they have there, under Coach Todd Dodge and under defensive coordinator Tony Salazar, they are replacing 9 starters on defense. It's like they're by no means a sure thing. Katie has been great. The other thing about Westlake and Katie and Carroll, as we mentioned, is they can go D1 or D2. Right. So it's like you don't know what their path is. Aledo, we have a pretty decent idea of what their path is going to be, and I think that they're going to be favored. There's a couple of big hurdles in their way, but they'll be favored. Carthage, we know what their path is. I think they're going to be favored in every game that they play in 2021.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for somebody else
maybe Shiner stepping out of 6A.
Shiner.
Someone said that in the comments.
Well, Shiner, but here's the thing: we don't even have Shiner number 1. We have Refugio number 1 in 2A Division 1, and that's the thing. You go out in 2A Division 1. I'd say, okay, number 1 is Refugio, right, in Dave Campbell's Texas football. But they have to go through what is, I think, clearly the most difficult region. They have to go through Region 4. So they would have to go through Mason. They'd have to go through Shiner. They'd have to go through those really tough teams. Mart, maybe? Mart brings back a lot.
Yeah.
I think Mart might be the pick if you're saying who's the third, my pick for the third most likely team to win a title. I would say Mart. They bring back a lot from last year's team. The question is, how much of a hangover is there from getting beat by Windthorst in the title game? So I'd say that's the team that I would say. Okay. Argyle's up there too, but 4A Division I's really deep this year, and so even though I think Argyle's going to be really good, I don't know if I would say that they are like as much of like a favorite as Carthage in this instance. So that's what I'd say.
Even kind of going off of that, we've got another question: what sleeper teams should we be on the lookout for? I guess people in the comments. So kind of going off of that, the opposite end.
So, first of all, there's a great episode of Tep and Step, our premium high school football podcast, wherein Matt Stepp and I break down some of our favorite sleepers from across the state. So there's that. I'll give you a couple of teams that I've mentioned before. I really like I believe, where are they? What level are they? They're 2A Division II. I really like El Dorado. El Dorado brings back a lot. I love their quarterback, Corbin Covarrubias. I think he's excellent. They're a team that I don't know if you would consider them a sleeper, but they're a team that certainly intrigues me. That's a team that I would categorize as a sleeper. If you're looking for like a big school sleeper, I mean, look, I've come on this show and I've said it before. I think spring quarterback Bishop Davenport rules. I think he's awesome, and I think that he could take them a long way. The only question for them, I believe, do we have them in D1? The problem is if they go to D1, like that's the land of giants, and they're coming out of they're in Region 2, which is weird to think it's a Houston area team, but they're in Region 2, so they have to go through DeSoto, they'd have to go through Duncanville, they'd have to go through some of those really, really tough DFW teams. That gives me a little bit of pause, but Spring is a team that I think is a sleeper. I also run San Antonio in 6A. I think San Antonio Brennan's a sleeper. I like San Antonio Brennan a lot. I also like, I don't know if they're a sleeper anymore, Rockwall Heath, I think could be really good.
That's a good
in the
one.
6A ranks. And then I'll give you one more. I'll give you a 4A team. Who's a 4A sleeper? Let me look up and down my list of teams that I like. All right, they're hardly a sleeper because of what they do every year. But they're coming off of a tough year. I like Cuero. Cuero's got dudes, and Cuero's always
good at 7-on-7
Cuero's
too.
always got athletes. I think Coach Jack Alvarez is doing a good job down there. I think that program's going to be very solid. I like Cuero to at least if they're a team that you've kind of I don't want to say written off, but a team that you're like, oh, last year they weren't very good. They're probably just going to be bad forever. I just don't think that's the case. So that would be a sleeper in my mind.
Good one.
Let's do 2 more.
Okay, this is a good one. This one's for me, but you can answer it too.
Sit back.
It is, what did you like best about filling in for Pickle, and what did you not like?
Ooh, this is good.
Do you want me to go first?
I have no opinions. I'm just leaning back from my microphone.
Okay, I'll go first. What I didn't like, I missed her. I wish she was here. So, I liked filling in, obviously, but I miss her. I want her to come back. She's my friend and my coworker, and I miss her. So, what I liked best, I liked, obviously, the show. I just liked being able to do the show, like getting up every morning knowing that I will get to come in here and do the show. Right. It gives you something to do. It's different than, than just like, sitting out there. But yeah, I think that would just doing the show in general.
A surprisingly gentle answer. Surprisingly gentle. I presumed you're going to be like, the thing I hated the worst was
doing it with
Tepper.
You. I was going to say that, but I was like, no.
The thing I liked the most is when the show was over and I didn't have to talk with Tepper anymore.
Well, you see, I like my job, so I would not say that.
Tap on the temple there. Good job.
Okay, your turn.
Mine? I think I mean this genuinely. I think you've done a fabulous job.
Oh, thank you.
And I'm very glad that you're on our team. There you go.
What's
next? Don't make me say more nice things.
All right. Do we want to do one more?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. This one, we kind of already talked about this before, but someone said, looks like Chris Paul is getting his first championship. Which high school coach would you like to get there first?
So
a lot of people said Coach Samples.
So like is an interesting word. And I want to be very clear. I want to be very clear that like I like all Texas high school football coaches, and I'm not here biased, but as far as like the most accomplished coaches without a state championship, I mean, obviously Phil Danaher springs to mind. He's the winningest coach in Texas high school football history.
Right.
He has a grand total of, where are you at, Danaher? And And by the way, I think his grandson's going to be playing this year, which is kind of crazy.
That's cool.
Not for. I think it's Wes's kid, and I think he's going to be playing for Austin Bowie. He's at 480 wins, but he does not have a state championship. I would obviously love to see Coach Danaher win it. Reginald Samples is another obvious choice, if anything, because of the heartbreak he's experienced. There was, of course, people know that he was on the wrong end of the Galena Park North Shore Hail Mary over Duncanville.
Right.
Then they go, and in 2019, their quarterback hurts him, tears his ACL tears up his knee. Jaquin Jackson tears up his knee in the semifinal. I mean, he's had heartbreak. And then that doesn't even count when he was at Dallas Lincoln back in the 2003, 4. He takes Dallas Lincoln to, do you know the story?
I don't.
This is his first ever state championship game. He takes Dallas Lincoln to a state championship game, okay? They go to overtime with Kilgore, okay? Go to overtime.
Right.
They get the ball first. They're settling for a field goal there. It's blocked and returned for a game-winning touchdown by Kilgore, okay? He has experienced more heartbreak. He's been on the wrong end of Kyler Murray when he was at Skyline.
Right.
I mean, he has experienced more heartbreak. So I'd love to see him win one, obviously. The other one that I'll throw out there, if you're talking like most accomplished active coaches without a title, this is kind of, maybe this is off people's radar, but guys, Jamie Driscoll at Malakoff's been super good. Super, super, super good. And, they ran to Grandview when they made it to a title game. I would love to see Jamie Driscoll win a title. So those are the ones that immediately sprung to mind.
Gotcha.
But a good question.
At noon on TexasFootball.com, Facebook, Twitch, and right here on YouTube. For more of the best coverage of Texas football in the Lone Star State, go to TexasFootball.com/subscribe.